Hey there, Internet. Just checking in. Lots of great stuff happening right now. Things have been real busy today, and I'm going to the gym in just about 20 minutes, but I wanted to check in and talk about just what's going on and a few topics that have been kind of been percolating in my mind. It is April 9th, 2014, about 31 days until the fight, so we're right at a month out. It's a really exciting time to be just a month away. All the months of preparation and the opportunity to do all of the prep work really come together now. It's every day seems super exciting. It's that last 30 days before the event. Just checking in with the stuff that's kind of trivial to me at this point. I'm at 186.5. My low was 185. I did meet that goal, but my weight's been hovering up and down, and I've just been working to feed myself and make sure that I'm maintaining my strength as opposed to like just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So my top weight loss was like 18.5 pounds. But I've just been building more strength now that I'm down in the 180s, and I will be fighting at 180. So that's the weight goal. So I'm within, just as I woke up this morning with no particular attention to my weight, I'm within 6.5 pounds of making the 180 weight, and I only have to make 183, under 183 to do it. So I'm right where I need to be. Now it's just about conditioning and power and whatnot. But let's get to the fun stuff. We're going to talk about psychology today. This has really been on my mind. It's been a huge part of this journey, and I wanted to dedicate an entire blog just to the psychology. I've said this before, but I really wanted to elaborate on it. The opportunity here has been not to reach a goal, like the arbitrary goal of doing the boxing or learning it. It's been more about who I need to become in order to pursue that goal effectively. And I've also talked about this, the uniqueness of the opportunity has been in that this is not tied into professional obligations. This is not tied into any particular obligation that I have in my life. It is an obligation simply to myself. So I've been able to create this as a politic-free, 100% positive environment. Everyone on my team, my coaches, my family, my friends, all the professionals around me, my different therapists and trainers and whatnot, they're all 100% congruently focused on helping me to reach my goals without any politics. In other words, I don't need to work around them. They're really working around me. So what that does is it creates a very clear space for me to meet myself, right? Because in lots of situations where you're working with a team and you have the challenges of balancing personalities and other people's motivations, other people's personal goals and alignments with the thing that you are in pursuit of, you have this opportunity to encounter challenges outside of yourself or to recognize those challenges as occurring outside of yourself. So you have the potential to be able to blame other things or people outside of yourself for the goal, the parts of the goal that are harder to reach or that you're not reaching. But when you have a team around you that's 100% positive, any negativity that I encounter in that situation, I can be assured it is coming from me. So it is clearing, so being in a 100% positive environment is clearing the space for me to encounter my own negativity, which is it has to be the biggest part of this process for me, because all of those challenges, my limiting beliefs, my limited psychology that are coming up for me as I approach the goals of conditioning and training and skill building and optimizing my human potential through hydration and sleep and nutrition and conditioning and psychology. All of those things that come up are cross-contextual across my entire life. So, what touches this project touches my entire life. So this is an incredibly exciting opportunity for me to encounter where those limitations are inside myself, right? And then to then be able to harness the value of those lessons and then push it forward in my life, right? So I wanted to make that clear. I've said it in the past. So when I say, oh, there's no politics, it's all about me and my goal and whatnot, it's not about me saying finally all those other people and things and circumstances and conditions are out of my way so that now things are perfect for me to pursue something. It's about all of those things are out of my way as distractions from the idea that it's all being created by me, that any challenges that I'm encountering, there's no one to blame and there's no one to look to other than myself to meet those challenges and address those things. I think when you declare a goal, when you have a vision for something that you want and that is not yet occurring in your life, it's not there, it's not real for you as some other things that are there, already achieved, already present in your life. And when you declare, I want this thing that isn't in my life, this skill, this ability, this thing, this achievement, this physical object, whatever it is, you start to move towards it. You say, I want this, and you start to move towards it, and then something comes up in the way, right? And one of the things that I try to live my life by is the expression, what's in the way is the way. So that when you declare, I want this thing, and you start to move towards it, and this thing comes up, there's nothing wrong in that moment. It's the universe telling you, this is what you need to deal with in order to move towards your goal. So the things that come up in the way become the opportunity, and they are the way. So when you encounter those things, and as I've been encountering those things, I've been in appreciation for that's the opportunity. So I declare this goal, like I want to go through this process of learning to box and learning to box with excellence and to the best of my ability, and to pursue it to the greatest extent that I can, to give it my best, meaning I make it the priority in my life, and that I don't have to wonder later, oh, did I do enough? Because I am 100% focused on this. I'm doing just enough work to, and I'm doing quite a bit of work to earn money, but at the same time, and I'm doing it responsibly and professionally, but I'm not making it the priority, if that makes sense. That's number two. Everything is planned around the boxing. So that when I'm done with this, I won't have to wonder, well, what would it have been like if I did my best? What if I had really tried? What if I had really committed? So I don't have to wonder that. That's a big part of this experiment and journey is I'm doing this 100%. So once I declare that, the things that come up in the way become the opportunity. I hope that makes sense. And in the pursuit of that, I've had the opportunity to just confront thing after thing as opportunity. And ideas have been coming up, idea after idea. And it's like being in a big conversation with on the topic of how do you create a result, how do you achieve a result, how do you what does it mean to pursue excellence, what does it mean to pursue something with excellence. And in that I've been coming up with really creative ways of being in that conversation. One of the things that I have I got post-it notes, not these little ones, but gigantic post-it notes. I'll put some pictures up of the Post-it notes. All over my house. They're in my bathroom, on my bathroom mirror. They're on my front door as I'm leaving the house. They're the last thing I see. They're all over my sliding glass door. They're on my kitchen cabinets. And it's a way of staying consciously engaged in all of the different ideas that have been coming up for me. Like on my sliding glass door to my porch, I've got the thing that says 9. What does it say? It says 9 hours of quality sleep. Right? It says 9 hours of quality sleep. As I got into this conversation about what it's going to take to get the result that I want, that came up, the idea of sleep, right? And sleep's going to come into anything. Anything you want to achieve, it's the idea of are you getting enough sleep is eventually going to come up because it's key. If you're getting 2 hours of sleep, you're not going to be as effective. And for years I've been in this conversation with myself about, oh, how, gosh, when I take 8, 9 hours of sleep, and I'll even mention I got 8 or 9 hours of sleep last night, and someone will say, oh, wow, must be nice, and they'll start to throw this almost resentment, and I'll take that on, and I will start to feel guilty that I slept. And now I'm learning to feel comfortable, even though I love, and don't get me wrong, I'm the kind of guy, as a performer, and as a single guy, I don't have kids, my schedule is pretty open a lot of the time, so I get 9, 10 hours much more often, I think, than most people do. And I think a lot of stand-up comedians would concur. There's not, you make your own schedule, so that's something that occurs. But what I'm encountering was there was some guilt around it. There was some negativity in my psyche around taking that 9 hours of sleep. Because I'd always go, oh, well, that would mean I would get up at noon, and then, I don't know, that seems like lazy, and all this conversation would occur with myself. And I'm clearing that out of the way. So I arrived at a resolution and said, yeah, 9 hours. I need it, I want it, I'm taking it. 9 hours of sleep, quality sleep, I'm getting that as often as possible. And I'm finding actually that top end 9 hours, my body really wants somewhere between 8 and 9. I'm starting to wake up, and my body's saying, boom, that's enough. 8 hours and 15 minutes seems to be enough. And I'm just trusting it, to tell me. I do a lot of meditation as well, so that probably plays into maybe not needing quite as much deep sleep as other folks might. But in any case, that's part of my conversation. Making sure that I do certain behavioral things, like there's a Post-it note up there that says roll now, meaning get down and do the foam roller. And that's been a big part of my success, is to really focus on making certain that I do enough work to recover, for the muscles to recover. Also, just attitudes, like I can trust myself. That's been a huge one. I can trust myself. I've been in a conversation with myself about imposing my flow. That's a big part of boxing, is to find your flow and then to impose it on your opponent. And it started off as a Post-it on my mirror. Like it occurred to me one day, and I put it up there. Bam! I wanted to not lose that. I wanted to have it there where I could see it. Boom! Impose your flow. And then I realized a few days later, before you impose your flow, you really need to create it and to grow it and to deepen it so it's there to impose on someone. It needs to really be well formed and solid before you impose it on somebody else. So then I put grow your flow. And then, so that was up for a few weeks. And then I went through several rounds of sparring and got that experience. Not several rounds, I mean several rounds as in 3-minute rounds, but also several weeks, session after session of sparring, and had the opportunity to encounter some really heavy opposition from my trainer and from some of the other folks that I train with, and experience what it's like to encounter that opposition. And in that, I realized that you need to stop and breathe and compose yourself in the face of that heavy opposition. I had a lot of other lessons around this too. I learned that I can take a punch. I can really take a punch and just keep going. I'm getting to the point where it's really hard to demoralize me. It's really hard to find. Initially, I would get bang, like a really strong punch, and it would give me pause, and I would have that a little bit of shock, a little bit of quit would come up in me. And now I'm having the experience with getting hit even harder and not having that quit. Of course, the next step is to not get hit nearly so damn much. But that opportunity has been to really experience, okay, I'm not going to break, and you're not going to stop me, and you're not going to break me. I haven't been knocked out, and I'm not coming away from my sparring sessions at the end of the round going, I just want to quit. I went into survival mode. I got through that. I'm so glad that round is over. That's not the case. I'm fighting right to the last minute, and there's no quit in me. And I'm having that experience, right? So, so in doing that, composing yourself, very important. So I'm there. I know I'm not going to break. I know I'm going to keep pushing. But the question is, am I going to have that experience while also getting smacked around the entire time in a way that wouldn't have me emerge as the winner of that round, right? Or am I going to compose myself and then impose my flow, right? So that idea of grow your flow and impose your flow really kind of evolved. So I took a sticky down, and I realized really what speaks to me is the idea of compose yourself, which is really beautiful and poetic when you think about it. You're going to compose yourself, which means you're the creator. You're the composer of your entire self, of your entire experience. You're going to compose it. That's what I'm doing. I'm in a process of composing my experience. But you need to compose yourself, breathe, relax, get in the pocket, get comfortable. Heavy opposition is coming, but you compose yourself, and you don't let the other guy determine what you're doing. You are going to impose your flow, right? So I'm gonna compose myself, and then I'm gonna impose my flow on my opponent. And that's been really a big growth idea for me. It's to get really clear on that, and it took real life experience and a continual conversation with myself through this blog, through all my conversations, through all the post-its on my wall, through everything that I'm focused on, through all the books I'm reading to help me along this journey. That's been one of the aspects of it, to compose then impose. And it's not so much that particular idea that I'm sharing, but it's the idea of being in a conversation with yourself about those things and having it in a deep, vibrant, vital way that you make real for yourself on a daily basis. And that's what I'm doing from now until the fight over the next 31 days. I'm going to be in fully engaged, vital, engaged conversation with myself and with the world about these kinds of things, because I want to have a much more enlivened experience of life, a more powerful experience of life. So that's what this has been all about. One of the other things that I'm learning is that the first step to getting into creating the things that I want to create in my experience has been gratitude. As a first step, to sit in appreciation of everything and to get into that psychophysical, emotional state of appreciation before I try to create something. So on my way to train, and I gotta leave in like 5 minutes here. So I'll try to be brief here. On my way to train, I go first into a state of appreciation. I think about all the resources that I have. I feel thankful for all of my coaches and for all the opportunities that I have to train, and for the fact that my job allows me to take the time to do this and to pursue it 100%, and my family and my friends and the kinds of things that I appreciate about them, and the equipment that I am able to own, and the fact that the gym is right by my house, and just all of the and the right trainers have emerged for me. All of these things, there's so much to feel grateful for. And then I find myself, I'm just right now even just focusing on it, I find myself in a state of positivity, right? So then that sets me up for the work to visualize what I want. Now, sometimes, and in boxing, it's so important to visualize. So when you're there and your hands are moving, and say you're doing focus mitts and you're working with your trainer, and he's telling you, turn over the punch, make sure you turn over the punch, make sure you bring it all the way back after you punch, and make sure you hit the mitt in a certain place, and make sure you reach, and different things, right? The way you make those adjustments in the presence of all of that effort and fatigue and video games are onto something when they show that little bar that like ramps up, and we can kind of feel our physical fatigue as though it's a bar that's ramping up. But there's also this mental thing that's going on too, and maybe you can imagine a mental bar that's showing like how much mental power you have, and all of that's waxing and waning throughout this entire process. And what becomes very important in that is to compose yourself and then get a clear vision of what it is you're trying to get your body to do. Inside of all of this stress and all this fatigue, finding a place where you ignore all that, mind over matter, as my coach says, if you don't mind, it don't matter, right? Put your mind, specifically visualize, all right, this is how I want that punch to come out, and I want it to snap right back here. Boom, right? And to fully visualize that in an instant to then get your body to do that result. And it takes that mental focus and that clarity and that specificity to picture it, right? But in each moment, you're hopefully coming out of that state of positivity, that state of gratitude, coming out of that feeling of abundance. Because when you picture the thing that you want to happen, whether it's getting yourself to do something physical or any number of other results that you want in your life, if you start with that tuning into the things that already are there. So for instance, I can feel like as I was working the mitts, I was feeling gratitude for the fact that every time he moved forward, my feet were automatically moving backwards. From years of sword fighting on small stages, when someone moves towards me, my feet automatically adjust to keep the measure, to keep the distance between us where I want it. Right? So I'm feeling like, oh, I go, great, that's working well. And then I focus on my breathing and I notice, hey, I'm really breathing well with this. Like I am not burning out, and I'm punching and breathing. And that's going to be another post-it note, punch and breathe, right? And I'm in that gratitude, and on top of all of that, I'm then visualizing, all right, turn that fist over on your jab. And I'm asking my body to do that in the face of all that opposition of fatigue and just the challenge of hitting a moving target and all that stuff. And it's that base of positivity and gratitude that allows the very specific envisioning. And you have to picture it. You've got to imagine it. Whether it's a picture, but it's imagining it in your mind, what you want, strongly and specifically, that then creates the reaction either in your body or in the universe to then bring that thing into reality. So it's so important. So when you tune into the things that are already working, and you get in that gratitude, appreciation, positivity state, and then you envision the next thing that you want, the next demand that you want to bring into being, to do something faster, or to just get a certain number of repetitions. Because when you are doing push-ups and you trying to do 50 in a row, there's a dialogue that's going on in your head. It comes all by itself, and that voice comes out, and I'm learning to accept that voice, and then also on top of it maintain that clear focus on my goal and that clear picture of what I'm trying to bring into being. So I'm talking a lot about pushing yourself physically and getting yourself to physically execute certain things, but it goes so far beyond that. See, one of the reasons that I got turned off by The Secret and a lot of those New Age law of attraction stuff is that so many of the teachers would come out and they would make it about money and cars and jobs and things that I just didn't find compelling. So within this context of finding something I'm passionate about, I now am able to apply a lot of the things that I can read in books about creating results, goal setting and all that in a powerful way. Because it just seemed to me that all of these mechanics that people talk about are worthless unless you find something that inspires you. Like, for instance, I've seen a lot of motivational speakers, and because I do a lot of trainings myself, and I do I'm an NLP trainer, and I do all kinds of coaching and trainings myself, and I go to conferences and whatnot, and I come in contact with a lot of trainers, so I see a lot of people doing what coaches do. And so many times I've heard people begin with, how many people here would like to make more money? You know, they just started with that thing, and everyone goes, ooh, and they give this kind of lukewarm response, and then the trainer says, come on, that's not blah, 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 blah. How many people here would talk about my mama? And then everyone goes, ah, and they give this sort of ramped up, like, okay, I'm gonna be enthusiastic now. And then the trainer goes, well, all right then, you know, and it's just like, the reason that those people aren't making more money is because they don't want to make more money. They don't want to make more money. If they wanted it, they would be picturing it and they would be excited about it. I think that I don't remember if I said this in my blog before, but the idea is not, the question might be more accurately, how many people here think it would be real nice to make more money? And then people could go, yeah, you know, yeah. And then that reaction would be appropriate, because that's the real question that they're answering when people say, do you want to make more money, is they're really asking themselves, well, do they think it would be kind of nice? Right? And it's like that with anything. Knowing the difference between, is this something that you really want, and is this something that you just think would be nice? And a lot of people have focused on this. Part of my boxing journey has been fitness and weight loss. I mean, I need to be a certain weight, but that's only a piece of the picture. Weight, I didn't do this to lose weight. There'd be lots of other ways I could lose weight that would be a hell of a lot more comfortable, right? But the reason that I'm successful is that I created a goal that I want. I want this, and I'm not going to let anything get in my way. This is something that I truly want because I picked something that was inspirational to me. I've been a martial artist since I was 10 years old, and I've been in action my entire life. My entire career has been centered around being in action and being engaged physically and being a movement artist and an expression of outward, aggressive, exciting, compelling physicality, right? So this goal for me at 44, which is, by the way, at the age of 44, George Foreman won the heavyweight title, right? At age 44 now, I want to pursue this with excellence, right? This is compelling to me. I want this. Now, if this was something that I didn't want, you know, as much, and I still wanted to be successful at it, I now know that I need to create that want, that I need to feed that want. I need to get leverage on myself. Then I need to get in touch with the things that make me want it. And one of the big lessons I'm coming away with from this whole journey is you won't get goals that you don't want. If it's big and you want to achieve it, you can achieve it. But if you just think it'd be nice to achieve it, and you don't have that leverage on yourself, on myself, because I want this all to happen in the context, I'm sharing my journey with you. I'm not telling you what to do in your life or how, you know, and I'm not making I'm not selling anything. I'm not making a promise to you. I'm sharing this. And that's what I'm coming away with. I need to want it in order to make it happen. And that's super clear inside of the context of this. A thing that really helps, I was reading this book, the Rise of the Superman, something like that, and it's about the flow state. And one of the concepts in it is that people who put themselves in high risk activities tend to hit the flow state very quickly because it's a demand they're putting on themselves, either flow or die, right? And I feel like I got a winning combination because I got a compelling goal that I want and some very compelling high-risk reasons to get good at this very quickly. So anyway, that's, I think, most of what I wanted to share. I hope that, and I want to just say I appreciate everybody who's been watching my video blog. For giving me a space to share inside of and to really express myself and express the journey that I'm on. I need that space, and I've created several spaces. There's, you know, you can see it on my Instagram. You can see it's on the walls of my house. It's inside of here in the things that I do when I sit and I visualize, and they're all very important spaces to me. Inside the space of the gym is another place I express it, but also on this blog has been a really important. Just knowing I'm doing this blog or that I'm going to do one, it keeps me in a headspace that's been really powerful for me. So I want to thank you for the value that I'm getting out of this. If you're getting value out of this, you're very welcome to it, and I'm glad I could provide some of that for you. And, you know, let me know if there's anything you get or any questions. You know, this is a conversation. This blog is where I get to be in conversation with my friends and whatnot. My friend Allie reached out to me yesterday and wanted to talk to me about how she could get some of the same results in certain areas, and I love talking about it. In fact, it deepens the experience for me to share it with friends. So feel free, reach out. I can talk about stuff in this blog, or, you know, happy to chat with anybody in any capacity, just to share this and deepen this experience. You know, ultimately for myself, but hopefully to provide something for the people that are important to me. So that's about it. Thank you so much. 31 days away, and I'm going to keep going. Take care.